Impact. Sit back, relax. The show will begin shortly. While we wait, please share the link to somebody you know. Thank you. Welcome to Your Voice, Your Impact, where we amplify your voice for impact. Sit back, relax. The show will begin shortly. While we wait, please share the link to somebody you know. Thank you. Nicole O'Neill once said, "When you find the courage to use your voice, it has the power to positively inspire and change the lives of others. It is one of the special gifts you have to offer the world. It is something to be cherished and championed, never hidden. And that is why we are here on Your Voice, Your Impact. I am the energetic EJ. I am a life and transformational coach, and I work with women aged 40 and above to turn their abandoned dreams into achievable goals by activating their voice for impact. I'm also a podcaster and an event host. On this show with me is
Grace. So amazing. The goal of this show is to help people use their voices to create impact. I am a physicist and a life coach. What I do for my clients is I help them build systems to achieve their goals whilst having fun doing it. On this show, we discuss topical issues that can inspire you to move. Like, subscribe, and share. Welcome aboard.
Hello, people of God. How are we doing today? I hope we are well. Okay, so I have to put on my monitor over here for Instagram so that anyone joining us on Instagram, we can see and read their comments and make them a part of the conversation. Welcome on board. I'm just going to bring on Gracie and we're just going to dive right into it. So we are also test running a different timing for our show. Again, this is the end of the year. We're wrapping up 2024. And looking forward, I hope you can hear me. My mic is behind me. Can you imagine? Could you hear me? We are wrapping up 2024 and already taking stock, reflecting, looking back and seeing, okay, what adjustments readily can be taken really. And so we're test running this. So let us know in the comments what you think about this timing versus when we do it at 1 p.m. West African time and 4 p.m. UAE time. So this is 7 p.m. West African time, 10 p.m. UAE time. Let us know what you think in the comment section. But welcome to today's episode. Gracie, are you able to hear me clearly? Gracie, can you hear me? You seem frozen. Hello? Okay. I think Grace's video is frozen. Can somebody let me know that you can hear me? Is anybody out there? Okay. Gracie is back. Gracie, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. You were frozen for a bit.
Oh my goodness. I guess I think the network is trying to be funny, but I can hear you and I hope you can hear me as well.
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. I can hear you now. So are you feeling it from my end or from your end? For guys on Instagram, thank you so much for joining us. Please, could you kind of communicate with us? Can you hear us both? Can you see us both? Can you let us know in the comment section? Thank you so much for your feedback. I'm also looking here on LinkedIn if there's anyone there who can give us some sort of feedback to let us know if they can hear us clearly. Please, if you can hear us clearly, kindly just put it up in the comments. Let us know and let us know who is breaking. So let it not be like I'm the one breaking and I'm thinking it's Gracie. So please would appreciate your feedback. Thank you very much. All right. So I was saying earlier on that the year is coming to an end. We're already taking stock, looking at how far we've come in 2024, and we're so grateful for the journey so far. Yeah, so we're taking stock or reflecting, and we're also trying out some new stuff. It's just the time as we wrap up for the year and kind of go on a break, because we too, we want to enjoy the Christmas. Okay, we have family gatherings, we have events, lined up for the festive season, and we want to enjoy it. Okay, so we're gonna go on a break. But before we do, I wanted to test run this to see what you think. So please let us hear your um point of view, your suggestion. Let us know. You can slide into our DMs, you can drop it in the comment section, whatever works for you. Help us do that. Before we go into the conversation of today, talking about challenges and navigations, 2024 has been an amazing year, but it has not come without its challenges. And we have had our own fair share of those challenges. And so we want to share from some of the challenges we have had this year, how we're able to navigate through those challenges, some lessons we learned on the way, and, share our own insights, hoping, some of the insights I will share would actually help you. Gracie, confirm again that my voice is not looking like there's fan in front of me, because there's a fan right in front of me. I just want to know that it's not affecting me. Is it affecting my voice?
Yes, yes. I was going
Ah,
to, I thought it was from my end. So I said, okay, let me
beautiful.
just wait and see.
Okay, is it better now?
Oh, much better. I was actually saying, oh God, am I going to be hearing this all through our
Are
conversation?
you imagine? You
But
could have said something.
all through the conversation, I was just saying to myself that okay, I hope the network would get better. I didn't know it was
Ah,
something that was better.
okay.
Okay.
Right. I apologize for that little technical issue. So it was the fan in front of me blowing. I hope you heard everything I said. I'm just gonna do a quick recap. As you can see, we're chilling out. We're already we're already winding down for the year, but we don't want to go without saying goodbye officially for 2024 and looking forward to connecting with you again in 2025. And this particular episode might be our last one for the year, but we also wanted to use it to test out a different timing to see the response. So please, if you're watching this right now, whether on Instagram, on YouTube, or on LinkedIn, and you have such feedback for us, like, okay, this time is better than in the afternoon or something, please let us know. We would appreciate that feedback. All right. So I was saying that before we go into the conversation of today, talking about challenges and how we have navigated ours, I just want to announce that we have a winner. Apparently, she had no competition. She was the only one in the competition, and she has won the sponsorship for the space or the slots provided by one of our sponsors a couple of weeks ago to be a part of a program called PSR, which is Practice, Speak, Repeat. This is an opportunity for her to grow as public speaking prowess or our public speaking skills. And she sent in a video, we've put it up. She's had a lot of support over the past couple of days, about 2 weeks now. And so we're happy to announce that Iyanolua, I think that's her name, Iyanolua is the winner of our giveaway. So congratulations to you, Iyano. We're going to
Ooh,
in the
congratulations,
email.
Piano. Congratulations.
We can't wait to see the growth that you're going to experience in 12 weeks as you go through the program PSR put together by the Speak Right Academy. So we look forward, we will look out for your progress. We'll check up on you from your coach to see how you're doing. And we can't wait for you when you're done to come on the show to come and tell us, a little bit about the program, how it went for you, and why other people should leverage such opportunities when it does pop up around them. Woof. Okay, Gracie. Challenges and navigation. What are some things that shook you, like they shook you in 2024? If you look back, what are some of them? I mean, the ones you can share, because some are pretty much like very, very, very intimate. But I'm happy to share though. But like, yeah, what are some of those challenges that you went through in 2024, and just walk us through how you were able to navigate them?
Okay, so thank you so much. And I want to say hi, everyone. And I'm happy to be, as you can see, we're chilled and very relaxed. Like We've been working all through the year, and this time around we are taking it winding down to the end of the year so that we can rejuvenate and start better next year. And challenges, oh my goodness, plenty. Thank you. Before I forget, thank you to our sponsor, the one, the right, the
Present
speak
Right
and
Academy.
repeat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Practice, speak, repeat.
Speak
PSR.
and repeat. Yes. Practice, speak, repeat. Thank you so much. All right. So challenges. I mean, every day we wake up, there's one challenge waiting to be conquered every day. And for me, because of how, so I'm going to be speaking about my some of the things that I've had to deal with, whilst all through the year, working on the show, and even generally as a human being, and someone that has started this project. I remember last week I said that taking something as a project and doing it as a project, that project that I said is very easy to call, you know, um, a framework that comes with the challenges. For me personally, it it's having to be consistent. As much as that is one thing that is my core, it takes a lot to
Mm,
be focused. Several things will come and distract you. So another thing, that's one thing, having to be consistent, letting go of other things to focus on certain things per time is a huge challenge that requires discipline, that requires, you know, um, having to do things that are not very comfortable. So I was
mm,
faced with a lot of, having to I would shift certain things just to, create room for a particular thing. So for me, dealing with distractions, dealing with other things that could help in helping me make money, but because my core value is, be consistent. When you start something, do it with all your heart. So it was a major challenge for me because I had to juggle between staying true to the work I am doing, and also dealing with other things that would, get me um other things, like doing several things at the same time. So it's also, when I call it a challenge, I also see it as something that has also strengthened me and has given me
mm,
that power and energy to be able to to do things per time. So it's me. You can hear me struggling to call it a challenge. It's a
mm,
struggle to call it a challenge because in the midst of it all, it was something that helped me to work on myself and to be able to push myself. So dealing with one major one for me is dealing with other things, making other things stop, because I love multitasking, and when I'm multitasking, I'm not putting my all into this. So I had to face the challenge of focusing on one thing per time. And with the show, that Monday thing, I like that we've been doing it on Monday. I don't know if we'll continue doing it on Monday, but there's this mindset that comes with Monday that, you know, everything is straight, and it is our it is our call. We can decide to choose a different day of the week, you
mm.
know. But we chose a very serious day of the week, meaning that you've been relaxing all weekend, so it's now
Weekend.
it's now time for you to, So as much as that was a very serious decision for us to make, I think it's quite challenging because most of the things that we do, other knowing that, we will I say we don't end from this at the moment,
Right.
and
Mm,
we just, we still put all our energies to it. So for me, that's one thing I would say, you know on the show and outside the show, being able to focus on something per time and doing it with all my strength and all my energy. I had to push myself a little bit more, to discipline myself, so that I can put, that energy required to deliver some of the things that is required of me as a person and as a co-host of Your Voice, Your Impact. We always have to come correct, in the sense that we prepare, mentally prepare, we
mm,
study. You and I know that we read, we talk about, no, we prepare for this, and it's not comfortable. We could be lounging and everything, but we study, we have long sessions together. Restrict, my dear, I can go on and on. All those things are not
right.
comfortable. And for me, it's a lesson that do it even if it's not comfortable. So that's a major challenge, but because of the mindset we have, we don't want to call
It's
it
almost
that,
like
but it's still a challenge.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. But again, I mean, it's important that we name them as what they are. They were challenges. It's just that we kind of either we came up with or we found a way to navigate it, basically. And the reason, we're naming it a challenge, which is what it is also because there are people who will look at us or who are looking at us from far and thinking, these ladies, they have it all together. Like, because give me a second, my phone is almost dead. I need to plug it in. Give me a second. Yeah. All right. So it's easy for people to think, it's either these people don't have something that they are doing. It's either they have a lot of time on their hands or they've just mastered the art of, just being consistent without challenges. So that's why it's important again, because I have a lot of people, who come to me and say, oh, EJ, I want to do this thing. I really want to maybe they are working on something. They're like, oh, I really want to do this thing, or I want to start putting out content. Like, I'm good at this particular skill and I want to find a way to start putting out content and everything, and I see you doing it so effortlessly. But the truth is, it's not like it's 100% effortless. It actually takes effort. It's just that we have been able to find something or a system that works. One of it is this accountability, right? Just like what Grace said last week about one of her top lessons being that you cannot do anything alone. So struggling to work on your goals, to stay consistent with a particular thing, is a struggle and is a challenge. So one of the ways to navigate it is to look for an accountability partner. One of the things that I struggled with this year is I really wanted to, kind of grow my coaching business, but I struggled with it because I was feeling to an extent incapable. Do you see? Like, I'm not there yet. There's still something else I need to learn. There is still what blah, 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 blah. There is still, this is not still the negative conversation in my head. This is something that I really struggle with this year, right? Sometimes it comes off as imposter syndrome, but sometimes it comes out as outright almost like a self-worth or self-image issue, right? And for me, one of the lessons I learned from that challenge is because I know how much work I am putting into personal development. Do you see? I know in community, like implanting myself in community that would stimulate my mind and my focus and my purpose and my passion, in having relationship like the one we both have. We're both coaches helping each other out in our practices and in our own mindset, not even about the practice first of all, in our own, like, first of all, let's grow first so that we can we can successfully help other people grow, right? So for me, it's like I know how much in books, in reading, in courses, in consumption of resources, right? So I know how much work that I put into personal development. So it will look as if this shouldn't be a thing. Like it shouldn't be a case. Like, what are you talking about? But it was something that I struggled with this year. And one of the things that I did to help me consistently stay on track, but in a way, I think I pedaled down a bit. But the pedaling down is to truly check. Because one of the things I also found out is sometimes our knower, it knows, our intuition knows there is something missing, really. As much as we say to ourselves, don't listen to the naysaying voice, there is something that naysaying voice is nibbling on. There is something in you that is maybe a knowledge gap, for example. There is the reality that there is a knowledge gap that you have, and you know it. So that reality, no matter how tiny it is what the naysaying voice in us will pounce on. It's like fear. When there is something in you that can be used, the fear will come in, and that fear, if you allow it, it will now start attracting other things. Self-doubt, low self-esteem, this one, that one. But because there's something really, so the question now is, okay, why is that? What is that thing in me that I truly need to work on? So that as much as you're saying, okay, I won't listen to this naysaying voice, I am going to act regardless of my fear. I am going to take action regardless of how I'm feeling. I am going to keep showing up regardless of this voice that I'm hearing. Is you actually confronting that naysaying voice and looking at that thing that the naysaying voice is trying to latch onto. For me, yes, the knowledge gap is there. But one thing that I also did was implanting myself in communities, in programs that would keep me on my toes, where I can see other people doing way, 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 way bigger things. And I'm telling myself, not in comparison to say, oh, this is that. No, but telling myself that if they can do it, what is wrong with you, Ejiro? Like, what is, or what needs to be right with you? What needs to be right with you to ensure that you're doing this thing? Because I've always said it, I'm a firm believer that whatever it is that we desire as humans is because we have the capacity to bring that thing to life. That is why the desire is even there in the first place. So whatever it is that has crossed your mind, like, oh, I wish I could, is not a wish. It's because there's something in you calling your name that you can do this thing. The question is, are you willing to pay the price for you to be able to get that thing or to do that thing? So one of the things I struggle with is that, that's, would I call it inner chatter? I struggle with it a lot this year. But I was able to combat it because I was implanted in communities, in programs that could help me snap out of it or help me question it. And I think the questioning was even more because coaching for me, that's like, see, and this coaching thing, I know it's for me. I know it's one of my core, right? And so I am doing everything that I can to truly get it, like to embody it. So when I had to pull back a little bit to say, okay, I'm not going to push to say, oh, I have this program as a coach, or I have this thing, this, framework or whatever. It was intentional because I know by God's grace, I will live long. Do you see? I will live long by God's grace, right? So I'm not rushing anywhere. And if this is a core of who I am, I need to actually grow it. I need to make it stronger. You see, so for me, that's one thing that I did this year that actually helped me still show up, regardless of the chatter, regardless of the setback, regardless of the questioning and all of these things. Right? Thank you so much, Thrive Careers Club. Please, you can also share with us what are some of the challenges you went through this year and how did you overcome them, right? So me being implanting myself in communities and in programs that helped me consistently question the naysaying voices in my head actually helped me to keep showing up on a daily basis till today. And so this show we also do, my podcast as well, also helped me because, for example, on my podcast, what I do is I actually speak to people to share their challenges and the life lessons that they've learned from it. And so imagine me having to speak with people from all over the world, from different continents, from different tribes, religion, faith, even orientation, opened me up to the humanity of each and every one of us that exist. Just like we were saying earlier when we were having our session, that before you were a female, before you were a coach, before you were a Christian, before you were a wife or a mother or whatever, you were first of all a human being. And so having the show, for example, having my podcast has helped me see that first. And some of the things I struggle, I was telling you earlier on today, was I remember when I was doing my training as an OAP, year is 2014. We had a very, very particular we had a one of our guest speakers that used to come for that training, because after I went through my training, I then joined the academy. I started to work with the academy. So I repeated a couple of sessions. And so I know that this man once in a while will come for the session. He's still amazing. You can go and check him out. His name is Abiodun, Mr. Abiodun Abodering. He has he has he has studied human so much.
I know
I
him.
don't,
He's a
you know him?
pastor.
Yes.
See? Yeah, I know him.
But at that time, we didn't even know him as a pastor. Do you hear what I mean? But he's been a pastor, but we didn't, at that program, we didn't know him as a pastor, 2014. So, but he would come for that program and he would analyze all the participants of the program. And I kid you not, in my set, some of the people and some of the things he said about those people, years down the line, I were like prophecy. And he wasn't even doing that in the context of prophecy. He was doing it in the context of, I've studied human psychology, physiology enough to look at you and see your strengths and see your weaknesses and tell you, if you go this path, it will actually work well for you. But if you do this and do this, like, it's amazing. It's like magic. But I mean, there are people that are gifted like that. Mr. Broderick is gifted like that. And I remember
He's a
then,
futurist. He's a futurist.
yes,
He's a futurist.
yes.
Him and
I
there's this PK guy.
PK, Pastor Kunle. Yes. I remember then, Grace, and that's something that has stuck with me, that has also helped me in when I'm doing personal development. I know that this is something that I need to work on. And earlier today I was telling you that I'm it has grown into a level. I have overcome some, but there's still some part that I need to work on, which is this either or. Is it no gray area? Yeah, black or white. No in betweens for me, right? No in between. So that's something that I've is almost like my wiring, but it doesn't serve all the time. Do you see? So like saying, I'm a shy person, I'm an introvert, it won't serve you all the time. So you need to master yourself to the point where, yes, intrinsically you are an introvert, right? But when you need to come out of that shell, or when you need to put on another hat to get to a goal, to get to an end result, can you do that? That's when you have mastered yourself. It doesn't change that you are an introvert. As an extrovert, it wouldn't change that I'm an extrovert. But there are rooms that I will get into. I got to know that, madam, calm down. You see that you're energetic, and we know, calm down. That energy is not for this room. Do you see? It's a level of mastering yourself. So white or black for me is something that I would say that in this year I've been able to work more on it, where I am now very I'm able to even wait and see and listen to this side and this side without creating like what would I say, like a pre opinion already. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that because it has opened me up to the ability to have conversation with even the most difficult people, or people who are way different from the way that I think or how I see life. But I've been able to have wholesome conversations with such people and still find the ground, the leveled ground, which is the fact that we are all human beings. We're all human beings. So that those are some of my struggles and how I've been able to navigate them in 2024. Okay. Let me read something from Instagram that is coming in. Thrive Career Hub says, I silence the voice of self doubt and everything telling me that I couldn't do it simply by doing it. I decided to focus on progress over perfection while bridging my knowledge gap. I love it. Love, 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 love it. Yes. I love, love, love that statement. Progress over perfection. And I think it's something that we have also used here. Like, okay, let's just do this thing. Let's go ahead. Let's do it. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect. We will grow along the way. And that's exactly what has happened. Yes, Gracie, while I look into the comments of other
Beautiful,
platforms to
beautiful.
see.
Yeah, beautiful. I mean, so I have come to a place where so this year for me, another thing that has been screaming in my face is one major challenge that I have struggled with is I have struggled with identifying with my weaknesses.
Hmm.
I have and the reason why I started doing that was because I found out that when whatever you focus, I mean, this is in our coaching world, we always say that whatever you focus on expands. So, and I also realized that when you are focusing on the things that you don't like about you, or not necessarily don't like about you, or it's the thing that comes out when you're dealing with people, so for instance, let me say, for instance, I I get to a point where um I'm almost, what's the word I'm looking for? Too emotional, you know. I want to put myself, help the world, like oh, you,
Savior
you know,
mentality.
do you
You
understand?
want to save
I
everybody. Hmm.
I now this year, and it's a clash. One good thing about you being teachable is you understanding that your strength might become a weakness if you don't appropriate it, if you don't use it very well. That was one major thing that I realized, that I would look at myself in the mirror and say to myself, Grace, mind your business. You cannot save the world. Who are you? You're even saving yourself. You want to come and be saving this, saving this, saving that. And still me, I sat down within myself and I still answered myself that, so what is it about this thing about you that you think you want to fix? You are a fixer. You want to fix. And Leo, Madam Fixer, well done. So before, it was a major challenge for me because I looked at it from a critical point of view. I was critiquing it. I was saying that, Grace, you think you are a fixer. You cannot fix everybody. Any small thing, how may I help you? What can I do for you? How can I do it so that it will be better? And everything. So the beautiful thing that got me, and this is me that I have been doing this work on myself. I've been studying, I've been in groups, I've built a very strong um a very strong system that can help me understand some of these things. That look, you cannot, even God needs your permission to be able to save you. So there are some people that you cannot even see. Even as a coach, you cannot fix everybody. You cannot even fix. It's not even your duty to want to fix them. So it now dawned on me that first things first, I recognized my gift. One of my major gifts, or one gift that I have that has been consistent since I was a child, was I am an encourager. I
Mm.
encourage people without. I often in my office, where I used to work, I used to even say that if you're my enemy, I will still encourage you, so that if you get promoted, you shall not be in my space, so that we'll be angry at each other. I don't mind, because your growth will not reduce my own growth. I have that mindset, right? So and I thought that that was a bad thing until I started understanding that, look, when it comes to human nature, when it comes to nature as a whole, and when it
Mm.
comes to um understanding self-awareness, one
Right.
good thing that you should know is that your weaknesses and your strengths are there for your good. So for me,
Mm.
struggling with that part was, it's so easy, just like you telling a peacock not to
Open
sprout its
the
tail and not to do this thing. So I was pressing down my gift,
hey.
because I didn't want to do certain things. And then when I started studying, and I saw that, look, your gift will make way for you. Your gift would make way for you. You now need to appropriate it. Why it
Mm.
is taunting you and frustrating you is because you don't know how to. Yes, you fix problems. Like, your job is to. A mechanic will fix your car. He's a car
Mm.
fixer. But you will not carry your car to him and fix it for free for you. So the mechanic he did a training to learn how to be able to fix it. So you being a fixer or solving a problem is not a bad thing. Having the savior mentality is not a bad thing, but you need to
Mm.
redefine it. When you say you're having a savior mentality, what do you mean? So I started, instead of being critical, I became curious. So
Mm.
why? What is it about you, Grace, that is always looking to help, is always looking to want to solve a
Fix.
particular problem for
Mm.
people? What is it about you? And not just fix problems. You notice that there are specific problems that you like to fix. So I now started narrowing some of those things down. In narrowing them down, I now realize that for everything you struggle with, it is because you have not gotten the right information to help you. All my
Mm.
life, when I was in school, when I was studying, by training, we were fixing problems, problem solve for. For 4 years, I was doing that. I didn't know anything apart from to solve problems. So I had to now give myself kudos. Grace, you were trained.
Train.
You were trained to be curious, to see a problem, to identify a problem and deal with it. It's your
Mm.
training. So it's not a problem. So this is the training that you got. And then you are an encourager. You have that as a gift. How can you marinate the two
Merch.
together so that you
Mm.
can now use it for your good? So
Mm.
what was a major challenge for me became an
Became.
eureka moment for me, like, ah, I see. I
Love it.
started charging. Oh, my dear. I put a cost to it. I put a cost to it to help me put not and not just decide and say, So it was a struggle at some point. I'll be like, these things, it comes to me naturally. It's so easy for me. And I sort of belittled it. I
Mm.
sort of belittled it. And the punishment for belittling it was to to
To
struggle
overwhelm yourself.
mentally and
Mm.
overwhelm myself with it. That was the punishment. But when I now understood that your gift, your training, your skills, your everything, when you put together, you will appropriate it accordingly. How,
Yeah.
boy, that was an
Beautiful.
eureka moment for me.
Love it.
I was like, come on. You see how you
Come
just
on
call
now.
me and you just have access to me, walla walla, and you're just looking anyhow. I'm like, when I remember, I say, yes, there's some people that I could still share with, and all that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, but when it comes to, really fixing it, working together, so we could work together, not just fixing it, for you to be able to do it. And that's why I love my job as a coach and as a psychotherapist. And that's, I mean, babes, is a joy to behold. It was a
I can
challenge
imagine.
that helped me to dissect, to see, to
Mm.
peel the onion, to peel the layers of the onions, for me to see that,
See.
look, it's not a problem, it's how you're seeing it.
I
It
love it.
isn't,
I love it. Wow.
and
That's amazing.
that's one.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Thrive Career Hub says she was laughing at when you said Madam Fixer. She said it, I think it comes with our calling as a coach. I
I
love it, love
agree.
it. That was so beautiful. And I
Because
think,
sorry,
yeah,
when
go
they
ahead.
say that, when they say that, I used to tell people that the most abused word today is I'm a coach. I'm a coach. Don't be angry that people call or people are coaches. Don't be angry that, because I went on X one day and I saw people yapping that, hey, everybody is a coach.
Everybody's a
Everybody is a
coach.
coach. You know, and I was like, why are you angry if everybody is a coach? Why are you angry? And then it now dawned on me that there are qualities that you must have to be a coach. If you do it for a period, when you do it, the kind of patience, that if you're
Hmm.
doing coaching right, and you're doing coaching, the kind of patience it requires for you will now know that it is not just a
It's
career,
not
it
a
is also
position.
a calling. It is a
It's not
calling.
a position.
The person you will become while you're doing it
Oh
is
my
is not
God.
a rank. You earn it. So when you see good coaches out there, man, they did not just wake up in the morning. So I just thought it would be
I
nice
just
to drop
mastered
that
the
in.
name. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. And I love how you shared it because it's almost like you saw it was a challenge, but your relationship with it turned that challenge into like a stepping stone for you. And that's such a beautiful thing to learn from this story you just shared. That sometimes instead of running away from those challenges, it is life calling you that there is a solution here for you to discover if you go past the discomfort of pain. We don't want anything that has to do with pain. This is not the conversation we want to have now. Like we are saying earlier, you don't want to have anything to do with pain. And then your blessing is wrapped up in something that looks like discomfort. And you're pushing it away, but you're praying for it, and you're pushing it away. That's why it looks like sometimes we are going in circles because you're praying for this thing. And then when it comes, but because it's not the package you expect, you push it away. Please, anything way strong
Just
pass it.
like
I know one.
just like just like when you've prayed and then the answer is coming and you be like, am I ready, am I ready, and you say, you're not ready, it will not go.
Oh,
You can almost see it and touch it, that ah and it's as if this thing came in form of an opportunity, and I
mm,
just waved it away. And I'm like, okay. And it has
oh,
happened a million and one times. And then after
honestly.
a while, I'll now catch myself and say, something I prayed for, and the thing came. And I
And
now
it
use
came
like,
and you just let it go.
I'll
Honestly.
chase it away.
Honest.
Somehow.
you know, one of the other things as we
Our
start
thoughts
to,
powerful.
wrap up. Yeah, our thoughts very powerful. One of the other things that, I am grateful for, it was a challenge. But the funny thing is, Gracie, I didn't even know. I didn't even realize it was a challenge. So this is the learning lesson for me here, that sometimes the things that the hardship, or and this I'm trying to use a word, so because there's a saying that says pain is inevitable but suffering is a choice. I love it. Pain is inevitable but suffering is a choice. So the pain, which is the hardship that life will go through, so let's use the word challenges for that. The challenges that come to us sometimes is to show us where we need to grow or where we need to get better or where a solution that carries our name is in. And so if you're diligent enough to try to solve it, to try to look at it very well, you will either get the solution, you will get better, or you will know or discover something about yourself that you didn't know before. So this is the case of mine. I discovered something I didn't know about myself before. I would never have thought, I would never have categorized myself as somebody that's self-critic. Like I mean, when you say critique, like in like critiquing yourself is like, okay, is this good enough? That's a different case. But when you are like critically critiquing yourself, like to the point of bashing yourself. Recently, I've started
Judging
journaling.
yourself.
Georgina, Georgina, you are the judge, you are the jury. You say we listen, we don't. No, this one we listen, we judge, and we execute. But something happened, and I was in a fix, and I had a challenge. But like I said, because of the first approach I used by planting myself in communities and in programs that would help me, keep track of myself, I was surrounded by people who kept saying, pointing this thing out. And it was easy for me to say, nope, that's not me. That's not my. But I'm like, if one person said it, not in the presence of the second person said the same thing. The third person, even the Bible says, like the multitude of kidney counsel, wisdom is established. I'm like, Adrian, come, sit down, calm down, sit down and think about it. I fought it. Honestly, Grace, I fought it. Like they were saying, Coach Ejiro, why are you so critical about yourself? Like this thing you're even saying, should be all of us were there, we witnessed it. Why are you carrying it on your head and taking the whole blame and carrying the whole fault and embodying it? And there were some things I said, and they were like, I don't know, where is this coming from? And at first I thought it like, well, but it's true, but it's true. But later on, I went to sit down with myself and I realized, and I said, you know what? I will not judge this thing. I will not accept this verdict based off of this incident. I am going to look at this thing that these people are saying and look at different areas of my life to see if truly I have played this thing out. Background. By the time I did that, ah, I saw it. And I'm like, no wonder. It's what they call, because when I started journaling again, I started to do some more research around it to see what that thing was. It's a negative limiting mindset, and it is called part of it is like, it's almost like there is magnification. So they call it catastrophizing. It's a term called catastrophizing or minimizing. So it's like if something is happening now and it's bad, you will max, you would I fellow do like Yoruba people would say, like, I'm the one that it is me, it's not you.
You
It
will
happens
zoom
in
into it. You
you you get it happens in relationship where it takes two to tango. it takes two to tango. Even yes, even if you have something, it's either because you permitted it in that relationship. So you have to accept your own part in it. But when you now carry for some, it's like they'll carry the whole blame. Like, it's me. Oh, it's my fault. It's me. Or they're like, it's not me, it's you. The concept is also that, like me and you now, as we are friends, if you do something, I'll be like, I'll give you an excuse now. No, now, but Grace is not that kind of person now. She's actually a mistake. But if I do the same mistake, I know I'm like that. I'm very nonsense, So it's like you will always be so hard on yourself and minimize the errors of other people, and it's not balanced. There's no harmony there, because at the end of the day, you start seeing yourself in a certain light that doesn't serve you, right? Thank you so much. Thank you so much, so much. Yes, Grace is saying, Thrive Career Hub is saying this has been so refreshing. Thank you for being a voice of wisdom. Your voice, your impact show, and Grace were amazing. Thank you so much. Right. So that was something that I used to. I had a challenge with, and I'm grateful for the amazing community I had around me that pointed that out, and also thankful for. I thank myself for going deeper to say, okay, if this is something that people are saying, what exactly is this about? And just uncovering that, like, this is what I'm doing. And this is how I can begin to navigate around it, so that to have a balanced view of life and how I react to things and myself, how I see myself, the self-talk we have with ourselves, making it more healthy, not boboing yourself, but making it more healthy, and just being positive, and things like that. So yeah, I mean, 2024 has really, really, really been a year of growth. Yes, the challenges were there, but those challenges were there too. Just like what I say on my podcast, like, we all go through challenges, but when we assume the posture of saying, what is this challenge here to teach me? We learn a lot. We learn a lot. And that's what, my experience has been in 2024. Woo! Okay, I think we said a lot. Do you have anything to say to wrap this up as we say goodbye? Oh my God, is this goodbye for the year? Oh my God.
It was so much fun doing this with you. And I will say that to everyone that joined us this 2024, I want you to know that you gave us that hope to continue. You gave us that nudge to keep at it. And we are looking forward to doing this again with you next year. I'm particularly grateful that we were able to do this with our minds intact, because I always talk about the mind, when you're not mentally fit and healthy, coming on a show to talk about things and talk about might be a very difficult one for you. So for us, we were able to do this, and it's a pleasure, and I'm happy, and I'm looking forward to a wonderful 2025. That's all I'm going to say. Merry Christmas in advance. Happy New Year in advance. I would urge everyone to look for how to make sure that their voices create impact in this season. Even if it is not your thing, just this short season, ensure that you're creating impact. That's what I would say.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Gracie. I could say the same thing about you. Thank you for doing this with me. And I just look forward to the amazing growth that we're going to experience again in 2025 as individuals and as a partner on this journey of Your Voice, Your Impact show. Thank you again to everyone, our guests, all of you who have showed up for us this year when we called, when we knocked on your door. Thank you for saying yes and for sharing your voice for impact, and for everyone who has been a part of the show. I see you, Marco Forbato on LinkedIn. He's always here. And all he says is hello. Just to make us know that I'm here. I'm listening to you, ladies. Thank you,
We
Marco.
love
We
you. We
appreciate
appreciate
you.
you,
We
Marco.
really do. Thank you. God bless you. And for everyone who joined us on Instagram today, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. For everyone who is going to watch this later on YouTube, we love you. We appreciate you. thank you so much. Please do not shy away from giving us feedback, sharing your suggestions, your advice, even your word of encouragement. We also need encouragement, right? Even though, yeah, we got this. We got our community. We know how we refresh. But if we hear it from you sometimes, it wouldn't be bad. It wouldn't be so bad. It wouldn't hurt. So thank you so much for being a part of our journey. Oh, this is where we say goodbye 2024 and welcome 2025. We'll be back in 2025 bigger, better, more enthusiastic. Remember, we have a huge goal to hit 10K subscribers on YouTube by the time we're celebrating our second year anniversary in July 19th. 2025. So we hope you'll be there with us to celebrate at that time. Until then, have a fantastic rest of the year and see you in 2025. Bye bye, guys. Bye.